On C, we've got to find a missing angle. And it's slightly different finding an angle, but we still go about it the same way at the start. We label the sides that we've been given. So we've got here the adjacent, because it's between the angle that we've been given and the right angle. And we've got the hypotenuse, which is the longest side, and it's also opposite the right angle. So think about which which ratio contains adjacent and hypotenuse. Well, it's the same one that we just used, cosine. But this time we're trying to find the angle, and the letter in here which corresponds to the angle is C, and I know C stands for cosine, but we include the angle with cosine. Cosine is a function that uses the angle. So cover up C, and we can see that to find the cosine of our angle, we're dividing the adjacent by the hypotenuse. So if I just write that out, cos y is the adjacent divided by the hypotenuse. Okay, let's substitute in the things we know. So the adjacent is 4.1, and the hypotenuse is 6.4. Now, if you actually did that division, you'd end up with a very small number less than 1, which obviously can't be our angle, and that's because that's just the ratio. That is cosine of y, that is not y itself. To find the angle y itself, we have to tell our calculators to work backwards to look in its ratios for that ratio and tell us what the angle was for that. So we have to tell it to do the inverse of cos, which looks like that when you've typed it into the calculator, of that ratio, and to tell us what the angle was. And it's better to put that in as a fraction rather than a decimal, because sometimes decimals get rounded and it's more accurate if you just give the exact fraction. Right. And to get it to say cos, it looks like cos to the -1. To get this inverse cos function on your calculator, you're going to have to press the second function or the shift key and then cos. Now I've got to put my ratio in first. Divided by 6.4. Okay, and then I've got to do the inverse cos of that. And my angle is 50.2 to 1 decimal place. And it's an angle this time, so it's measured in degrees.